A dog's loyalty shines during a lion attack on soldiers. A dog is known to be man's best friend. It doesn't matter where we go or what we do, our dogs will always be there for us, ready to play and shower us with love. They are also known to be very brave and sometimes can put their life on the line to save their favorite humans. The story that we are about to tell you happened in Kenya in 2018. A group of men were walking through the street when they got into an altercation with some wild animals. The people involved were soldiers who were trying to get home after their shift, but when they arrived at the gate, they found it locked, which made them really angry. After all, they had been working hard and just wanted to relax, but while they were arguing about what to do next, they hadn't noticed that some lions had snuck up on them. While they were distracted, 2 male lions and 1 female lion approached them from behind. What happened next was truly scary. One of the lions suddenly lunged forward and attacked one of the soldiers. The animal knocked him down and began biting and clawing at him. While this was happening, the other soldiers tried to fight the lion off, but it wasn't easy. They screamed and shouted at the top of their lungs, but the lion was clearly not afraid of them. It only paid attention to the soldier lying on the ground and did not care much about the others. The people thought that this was the end of their lives, but thankfully, one dog decided to intervene. The dog came running toward the scene and without hesitation jumped onto the lion's back. Of course, the lion was taken by surprise and shook the dog off its back, but the brave animal kept jumping onto the lion's back over and over again. The dog probably didn't have a lot of size, but it was clearly very determined and kept distracting the lion so it would leave the soldier alone. For a moment, it seemed like the dog's efforts weren't going to work, because the lion kept coming back to the soldier and bit it. But the dog didn't seem to care, and kept attacking the animal. All the soldiers were cheering for the dog and thanking it for helping their friend. But even though the dog was very brave and helped the soldier, it couldn't win against such a powerful animal. And after a few minutes, the lion managed to knock the dog out cold. The lion probably could have killed the dog right then and there, but for some reason, it didn't. Maybe it was full, or maybe it didn't want to kill the dog after it already had put up such a good fight. After the dog was knocked out, the lion finally left and went back into the bushes. At first, everyone thought the worst had happened and that the dog had died, but thankfully that wasn't the case. The dog opened its eyes again and started barking and growling at the lion. It seemed like the dog had regained its senses and wanted to fight the lion again. It was lucky that a soldier was able to hold the dog back. Otherwise, it might have run toward the lion and gotten attacked again. This time, the dog wouldn't have stood a chance. When the dog calmed down a bit, the soldiers checked if it was injured and thankfully it wasn't badly hurt. The soldier whose life the dog saved was very grateful and gave it some water. He was probably thanking the dog in his head for being so brave. It was then time for the soldiers to make a plan. They needed to find a way to get past the lions so they could close the gate and get inside. One of them suggested throwing stones at the lions, but another one said that wouldn't work because the animals were too big and brave. In the end, they decided to use tear gas. Thankfully, they had some with them and were able to scare the lions away. When the coast was clear, they picked up the dog and carried it with them as they walked through the door. The dog was definitely a hero and deserved all the praise it was getting. It had shown incredible bravery and determination and saved the soldier's life. But how did the dog react when it realized it was being carried? Well, it seems to be quite calm and relaxed despite everything that had just happened. It probably couldn't believe what it had just done, but was happy that its owner was okay. Many people online were calling the dog a hero, but some wondered why it didn't try to attack the lions in the beginning. Maybe the dog was scared at first, but then realized the soldier was in great danger and knew it had to do something. Whatever the case, it was safe to say that the dog had acted very bravely, and now it was time for it to get some well-deserved rest. The dog had probably used up all of its energy when it was fighting the lion, so it was best that it slept for a while before doing anything else. The soldier who owned the dog was called Charles, and he was very proud of his 4-legged companion. He knew that without the dog, he and his friends might not have made it out alive. So he decided to reward the dog and gave it some food and water. Charles also promised the dog that it would get a nice bone later on. The dog probably didn't understand what Charles was saying, but it knew that it was being rewarded for its actions, and that was enough for it. The dog must have felt very loved by its owner and all the other soldiers. It was clear that it was part of the group and that they all cared about it. The dog had indeed shown great courage and loyalty, and it was lucky that it had been there at the right time. Maybe the dog sensed that the soldier was in danger and knew that it had to step in. Whatever the case, it was clear that the dog had saved the soldier's life, and that was all that mattered. Now, it was time for the dog to get some rest. It had been through a lot and needed to recover before doing anything else. Charles carried the dog back to the truck and placed it in the back. The dog curled up in a ball and closed its eyes. It had been a long day and the dog was exhausted. As the truck drove away, Charles couldn't help but smile. He knew that he owed his life to his dog and was grateful for its bravery. The other soldiers nodded in agreement. They too had been impressed by the dog's actions. When they arrived at the base, Charles carried the dog out of the truck and into the medical tent. He wanted to make sure that it was okay before doing anything else. The dog wagged its tail weakly, but otherwise seemed fine. Charles scratched it behind the ears and whispered, "Good boy." The dog licked Charles's hand and barked softly. It was clearly happy to be alive. Charles knew that he had to do something to reward the dog. It had saved his life and deserved something special. He decided to give the dog a medal and a lifetime supply of dog food. The other soldiers agreed and chipped in to buy the dog some toys and treats. The dog was very happy with its gifts and wagged its tail excitedly. It probably couldn't believe how much attention it was getting, but it enjoyed every minute of it. From that day on, the dog was known as a hero throughout the base. Everyone praised it for its bravery and patted it whenever they saw it. The dog was very proud and barked happily when it heard all the attention. It loved being praised and knew that it had done a good job. As the years passed, the dog continued to live with Charles and the other soldiers. It was always by their side, ready to protect them from harm. The dog never forgot the day it saved Charles's life, and the two became even closer after the incident. They went on many missions together, and the dog always came back safely, thanks to its bravery and loyalty. Charles knew he could always count on his dog and was grateful for its companionship. The dog lived a long and happy life and died peacefully in its sleep. It was truly a hero and will be missed by all who knew it. Do you think the dog knew it was saving the soldier's life? Let us know your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends. Thanks for watching.